This is an experiment to see if I can encapsulate what I have gathered from the Constellation Incubator thus far without thinking too much about it, and go. I am Virginia Newcomb. I am a part of Group 12, last but not least, we like to call ourselves, consisting of Christina, Milana, Maria, and Sarah. Wow, I have to look for that. I love these people. We're all indie filmmakers. We were selected for this. That's Scout. Scout's all about independence. That's not true. Scout is very dependent. What am I saying? We all have a lot of ideas about how to restructure and remodel a system as large and integrated as the independent filmmaking system. There's just not often time made to meet minds on the matter. If the only thing I gain out of this is a hearty reminder to connect with other people around things that matter to me, seems obvious, right? Sorry, that's Scout. I'm trying to cover up Scout's butt. We work in an industry that moves fast, and sometimes that is a approach that is conducive for creativity because it gets you out of your head. But often, and more often in my experience, it's an environment that encourages ego, all out of fear of proving yourself. And so in the beginning of this is off the cuff, so design oriented, throw groups together that don't know each other, similarly to film, and have them go through these exercises that they're not prepared for, which, I mean, I'm an actor, I improv, I'll show up and do that part. That stimulates me, doesn't scare me necessarily anymore, but in the beginning what I was feeling was similar to what I have felt coming out of filmmaking experiences a lot, which is, did I do enough? Did I do enough? Did I express enough? Were my collaborators on the same page? Like, I'm working from my instincts, but am I working from my truest intellect? There's pros and cons to both. The beginning of the process of the incubator pushed those buttons for me in a way that I was really receptive to, because I did know that we were all on the same page, at least in the effort to redesign a system that we were all collectively questioning. So you do go in with a little bit of curiosity, and what I would say that our team has really cultivated throughout is that curiosity and openness and respect for each other. As we've gone about in the last couple of weeks, we've had an opportunity to meet outside of the regular meetings. I feel like kind of got over the hump of that initial excitement, impulses, and got into a little bit more of like the why and the purpose that a lot of us are working to connect to with this journey. I do find that also incredibly fruitful. I mean, actually essential to the other. That is all to say, I'm finding a lot of parallels of how I behave in this process with how I behave in any group collaboration that I'm brought to without much preparation, which is film. I have had the luxury of working with some people that I've worked with before, but not as often as I would like to. Like, I want to make movies with my friends, but that to me is still an idea more than it is a sustainable model. So I bounce around a lot. I am still primarily an actor. I write and direct, and I just said I directed, and I have not directed anything more than like a music video, but it's like, that's what you say. You say you're all the things. That's not true. I have produced second to acting, and I've written third. I don't know why I have to qualify. Anyway, I don't have an outline. What am I saying? I'm saying that this process has sparked in me some self-discovery as well. To subvert a system, you're still in the environment of the system. It is what it is because of the other, even if it's a rebellion, even if it's a counter. In those situations, I'm always conscious of the system. This has allowed me to let that go in a way that has been humbling, because I do think it's just as much about looking at ourselves and how we behave in dynamics that push our buttons, and allowing ourselves to step back from those buttons, knowing that like, wait, we've all come here to respect each other and remain curious. Like, it's an agreement, and not an unspoken at first agreement that turns into a spoken agreement, because you start with your values and you start with the values that you create given the information that you collect from other people's values, and then all those ideas that have been like packed in your head for, like me, 15 years working in this industry, they start to latch on to others. So I feel like, if this makes sense, that has been the most effective thing so far for me. I mean, considering I have no idea if our model will be a thing, or maybe we'll grab one nugget from it and that'll be enough. But I feel like the inviting people in to delicately, gingerly, playfully explore what something can be is such a great approach to, I mean, I kind of want to design a prototype that is almost like direct parallel to how the incubator has been designed. I'm sure others in the group have recognized that kind of meta quality of it, but like, we are putting into practice the things that we want, and that gives me confidence that if everyone comes to a collaboration with an agreement that this is what we've come here to explore, with that kind of openness, then the possibilities really are endless. But each one is different, and each one you design in and of itself, so there really should be lots of different options of models, and that's something that we're working on with ours, is having this flexibility. Like, it should be malleable, because everyone who comes together on a production has different needs and wants. It's just we kind of skip over the step of discussing that. I was afraid in the beginning of this that we weren't going to get a chance to discuss that, but there have been enough opportunities to connect on those things, because we know we don't know where we're going, but we know what we want to be different. And almost just putting people in an environment where the commonality is they want something different, you already assume that they have had experiences in the system that have not served them. And it's like, I've talked to plenty of filmmakers, investors, producers, audience that have no connection to film up to this point, that say a lot of the things to me that confirm that the system's not working for them. But to really chart that, and on a small scale, like, we're scaling it in a very small way, but we're each doing it, so it does feel bigger. I mean, there's 60 of us all doing that, but I think that in order to even begin to change things as much as we want to change things, we have to connect with each other and have the conversation of our own experiences and our own ideas, and really like open space to talk it out, because the business moves so fast, and that's just the way it is. You skip over all those spaces and opportunities to talk about how we can change and move forward. And some people are doing things that are working in like this facet, and someone creates something that works for them and then tries to amplify that as something that could work for everyone else, but then it doesn't have the malleability, the flexibility that considers that people are different, people's journeys are different, people's experiences and resources are different. So then that becomes cultish in and of itself. That is a strong word. It's just been thrown around recently, but it, in the sense that you follow one thing as the thing that is the way, instead of looking at yourself and connecting with your collaborators and then your story and the community around that to define what your process is. I don't know, I feel like that was like the longest run-on sentence. So I might not have offered up much valuable documentation, but I might have broken a world record of long run-on sentences. Can I distill something from what I'm saying? That cat's playing with the shades. We're in an animal house, basically, all of us. And we gotta get out our impulses, but we also have to connect with each other and untangle those. Where are those impulses coming from? What are those needs? What are those desires? What are we trying to fulfill? What kind of stories are we trying to tell, and who are we trying to reach? And ask those questions, and not just like the writer or the one person whose baby this is, but like the collective. Is that the distillation? Distillation. I love that word. There was like this long time when I was trying to explain things that meant that, and I could not find that word, and then I found that word, and now I overused the fuck out of it. I don't know. 16 minutes. That's probably too long. Okay. Either way, I'm super grateful to be a part of this thing, and I'm excited to share people. I'm excited to share people's ideas with other people's ideas, and make some change. Maybe even like a really tiny incremental change. But I don't know, I have a feeling that it might even be bigger than that, because we're up against a big crack in the system and in the world and in our hearts right now. And there's a light shining through it and guiding us to walk through and do something different and look at the other side and see what we got and see where we're at and meet each other and make something exciting and grandiose, and believe that all of our dreams can come true, even if the systems up to this point haven't supported us and haven't proven to us that they can. So hope you all come to, I'm now assuming that this video is going to be posted before presentation, come to our presentation that if you haven't been invited to, you better reach out to some incubator bees and ask for a private invitation, because you are a very important person, and we only want very important people at this event, because we're about to blow your minds.